I wanted to put this video out today, Father's Day, and wish everybody happy Father's Day, and especially highlight Black fathers today. I live in an area where they celebrate Father's Day with fireworks. So if you hear a big boom in the background, it's the fireworks going off. They really love their fathers. I wanted to commend and congratulate Black fathers. Contrary to popular belief and a lot of the propaganda that's put out there about Black fathers are doing tremendous. Anytime they actually do a study, Black fathers come out well ahead of all other groups. Spends quality time with their children, spends the best time with the children, spends the most time with their children. And understand, again, let me repeat this, 80% of all Black people are middle class or above. So that's your lower middle class, middle class, upper middle class, and rich, just wealthy, just all the way to fantastically wealthy. So at every level, Black fathers do more than all the other fathers, including Hispanics. And then I just looked at a chart. There are more single Black fathers than any other group. So the occasional liberal media will carry a piece admitting that Black fatherlessness is a complete lie and a hoax, and the truth is completely different. Now, when we start talking about rates, when we start talking about percentages, it's kind of ridiculous. Because the population of Black people in the United States is somewhere between 14 and 12 million, even as low as 11 million, depending on whose data you look at. So let's take the lowest one, 11 million. 73% of the country is white. So for every 7 white people, there's 1 Black person. So if you start trying to compare rates, and that's taking percentage of Black people versus percentage of white people, that percentage doesn't tell the story, and it's horrible, because then you're literally excusing millions upon millions of white people versus maybe 1 million Black people. Same thing with crime statistics. They judge crime statistics by every 100,000 people, but they won't tell you that. So they try and say, oh, this crime is rampant, and it's literally 2 people. I went to military school in New York, upstate New York, and there was a little town that was right outside the gates of the military school. And that town, when I was there, you ready for this? Because of the percentage and the population of that town and the number of murders in that town, it was awarded the #1 murder capital of the United States. Now, that sounds horrible, right? Guess how many people were murdered? 2. Now, compare that to New York City, which was, downstate, to 2 murders. That's nothing. New York City sneezes and 2 people are murdered, right? But because of the percentage versus the population of the people in that town, it was a town, wasn't a city, town. I think it was less than 50,000 people. So 2 murders in the entire year made a much larger percentage than all of the people in New York City, which is millions, right? Millions upon millions of people. And I keep telling you all, they keep throwing these percentages at you to try and fool you with statistics. And it's basically a lie. Now, the truth is, every time they actually study it, Black fathers are the best in every single category. And I just found out that single parenting, single fathers, Black men lead the pack. There are more single Black fathers than there are any other group. And they said they started to look at the culture, the overall culture. Hold on to your horses here. Hold on to your hats here. They started taking a look at the culture of black people and noticed, because of the way that the black culture works, black people tend not to legally marry. And I told you also that black people don't go to court when they want to get divorced. So the data for divorce rates for black people is say Shakaama said, throw that out the window because they don't go. So you're not going to get your support stuff. Anytime a black woman is going to start yelling at you about child support and all that, she's been brainwashed by whatever. She's not black. You can take that to the cleaners too. So tell her, you're asking for child support, you're not black. Because it's not in our culture to do that. In our culture, everybody takes care of the child to begin with. If you have something going wrong with you, that you don't want grandma to take care of the child, you don't want mama to take care of the child, and we're talking about the father's mama, the father's grandma. Everybody takes care of the child in the black. Remember Hillary Clinton tried to say it takes a village? She got that from black people. She's talking about Africa. She's talking about African Americans. That's a black thing. White people doesn't take a village. I'm sure you've heard black comedians say, when I was a child, if I got in trouble, Miss Jenkins beat me, walked me all the way down the street. Mr. Johnson beat me. Then Mr. Johnson walked me to the house. Mama beat me. And when Daddy got home, Daddy beat me. To make sure I understood, you don't do that. Conversely, when I wrecked on my bike, and I think I knocked out a tooth or something like that, everybody in the neighborhood came to my rescue, and then of course all the children, everybody, and then they took me to my aunt's house, who I was staying with. And then the aunt called mama, and that's how it works. That's black culture. Now, I've heard some white people say that happened to them too. I don't know anything about that. I've never been white. Happy Father's Day. I want to commend, and the fatherlessness rate is going down and down and down. You won't hear that on CNN, and you won't hear that at all. In fact, a liberal person, one of these black liberal people, wrote about the falsehoods of what CNN keeps talking about. Don Lemon saying 72% of black children are born illegitimate. Out and out lie. The CDC, go look up all the data in the CDC. It's all in the CDC. CDC completely contradicts him. And this is Don Lemon, who's supposed to be a black man, who's supposed to be a black man, who's supposed to be a black man, right? That's what he's hired for, right? That's why he's on right there on your TV staring at you. But he says exactly what they tell him to say. Oprah too. They say exactly what they want them to tell you. There is no fatherlessness. In fact, the data said 24% overall. Everybody, 24%. It's not going up, and black people aren't strange and weird and have this astronomical number, because there's not that many poor people. And fatherlessness is very much tied to poverty and poor people, the lower class, right? You hear the fireworks in the background? That's the Happy Father's Day, right? Fatherlessness is tied to poverty. We don't have that many. Remember, the very first thing I said on the opening this whole thing was 80% of black people are middle class and up. All the way up. That means, at best, you're going to get 20%. They have a hard time when they start studying black people. And until they start accounting for black culture, which I told you we don't have the same culture as white people. I've told you this, I don't know how many times. At least 1,000 times, because I have, over 2,300 videos on here? At least 1,000 times I've told you we are not the same culture. I know the liberals want to tell you that we're all the same. We're not. We have our own culture, our own specific culture. There is no way that you share the same culture with Brad. Sorry. Chandler. You don't. I don't know why you would want to. You can understand each other, but you don't share the same culture. Understanding culture is one thing. Having culture is a completely different thing. When people start looking at black culture and the way black men and women work together, then they go, oh, this doesn't fit in the data. It doesn't shoehorn in the data. White people are white man meets white woman. They marry, they have children, they die. Black people aren't like that. I know that sounds crazy, but black people are like, black man meets black woman, and then the mama, then the grandmama, then his mama. Actually, when he's approved of her, then the mama has to approve, and grandma has to approve, and aunties, and then the uncles pull him aside and say, hey, let me talk to you. I saw her on the corner of 3rd and 5th, 3rd and 4th, or whatever. Yeah, that's how it works in the black culture. Thank you all for watching. Happy Father's Day. I want to wish everybody happy Father's Day. And now they're finally coming out and saying, fathers are important. Fathers are important. Fathers are important. There you go. Did it take a genius to figure that out? And hold on. They're not just saying fathers are important. They're saying fathers are more important than mothers, because fathers, the studies that they've come out with is fathers not only protect the family, but intrinsically, the very nature, the very biology of the son, of the daughter, makes it so that the father allows the son and daughter to live longer in their life. Without a father, they don't live as long. And I'm not talking about, gang violence or anything. Let's completely erase that part, right? He was killed in the driveway. Erase that part. Mother Nature says you won't live that long because you don't have a father. We don't need you. We don't want you on the planet. Daughter, son, without a father. England says there's whole man deserts, whole neighborhoods. Is that crazy? Whole neighborhood. Well, I'm talking about England. I'm not talking about the United States. I'm talking about England. Whole neighborhoods, no fathers, no men. They said men. They said a child in these places can go for an entire week if he doesn't go to like the store or something like that, or whatever, wherever, or out in another neighborhood. He can go a whole week without seeing a man. It is rough. This is something you all need to discuss with your families. Thank you all for watching. Happy Father's Day to everybody. And a special happy Father's Day to Black fathers.